Wingy Boxing, IFL
You need some more time
TV.
before you get your breath back.
Yeah, you had to. You had to.
You look like you lost a bit of weight, Wingy.
I've lost weight, mate. Yeah.
Well, you and Coogan, is this an IFL thing?
Little boy on the way.
IFL bacteria.
Little boy on the way. I'm 40.
Yeah?
40 next year. Well, on the way. He's here actually, but
Oh, right.
40 next year. And I thought to myself, got to get the blubber off, man.
Good man.
How you been? Feeling all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, good. I say like the first show of the season. The season don't really stop nowadays, but we have had probably 4 weeks without a show. So I'm excited. Mad schedule coming up. Obviously this Saturday, and then Joshua, and then Chicago, and then Newcastle, and then Boston, and then New York, and Copperbox, and Monte Carlo, and other stuff. So really excited for the new season, if you like.
Khan-Vargas, tell me about it. What are your thoughts as the fight's coming up? Early blowout or?
No, I don't think so. No, I think we're going to get rounds. I was just talking to Darren Barker about it. I mean, Darren said to me, you can't really read too much into Vargas's loss against Errol Spence because he had 3 weeks' notice. And I said, you can't really read too much into Phil LaGreco fight other than he's still got blistering speed. And Darren's like, look, he's a quality fighter. So I think I always sort of look at the team around fighters, like the trainer, the promoter. And I think Vargas's guys see this as just such a massive opportunity. They've had 10 weeks. Do you know what I mean? So you're going to get the very best Sammy Vargas. Sammy Vargas is not Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Terence Crawford. He's like a world level guy without have the ability to win world championships and be an elite fighter. So I think what I want to get out of this fight is rounds for Amir Khan, and to see him get chest tested, to see him get hit on the chin. Someone that could potentially try and rough him up on the inside, test those hands out as well. I think we're going to get a good fight, I do.
Is this like the final sort of stretch now?
Yeah,
of Khan's
100%.
career, yeah?
I mean, look, we live in a world now where fans are so impatient, which is good for boxing because they're constantly pushing us to make fights, sometimes before the time. But this fight is needed. Like, you can't go off the LaGreco fight after 2 years out and just jump in with Pacquiao or Brook or those. So this is a fight that was needed. Now some people say, we don't want Sammy Vargas, we want Manny Pacquiao, Kell, Brook. I know you do, but this is the natural progression to those fights. So this is the last one. This is the last time he's going to get a chance to go in as probably a big favourite and enjoy himself, test out what he's working on with Joe Goose. I mean, that's another reason why he needs the fight. He's switched trainers, and this is the first full camp he's had with Joe Goose. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what he's added to the game. I like Joe Goose a lot. I think he's got a lovely way about him. And Amir's trained very hard. So, this is going to tell us everything we need to know about if he's ready. And if he's not, tough, because he's going to have to jump into those fights anyway against the likes of Pacquiao and Kell Brook.
1-2. That's better.
Now, fighters don't really like sort of looking ahead, but after this is done, what's more likely from your perspective right now, Pacquiao or Brook, in your opinion?
I think because the money that Pacquiao wants, and probably Amir wants to fight Pacquiao, probably the Brook fight. And I think the only way... Now, I've looked at the money for the UK fight for Pacquiao, and I think, again, going back to the money both guys want for that fight, the best chance that fight has of happening is if an overseas investor comes in, and it happens in Dubai, or we saw his last fight in Kuala Lumpur. The Brook fight's ready to go. I mean, they have to sit down with us and agree a split in that fight. I think Kell is at the stage where he'll give the majority of the split away. He's even giving the weight away to go at 147. So I think we've sort of taken away a lot of the barriers of the past, which is, I want 50-50.
Right, yeah.
Or it has to be at 154 or catch weight. They're gone now. So there's no real excuse not to make that fight anymore. I think a lot depends on how many rounds he does with Vargas in terms of the timing of that fight. Kell Brook has sort of said, look, rather than me boxing in September, let's just go straight into a big December fight. If Amir goes rounds against Vargas and he's had a long camp and his hands are a bit sore, does he get out in December? So there's a lot to overcome, but I'm kind of at a stage with it all where if he wins on Saturday, and obviously Kell will be there certainly won't be an announcement of that fight because we're not at that stage. But I kind of feel that in the ring it's like, look, guys,
I got you.
You're here.
Yeah.
You have to do this.
Eddie.
Rather than saying I'm going to do it, I'd say no, guys.
You've got to
because
do it,
everyone must know my desire to make this fight. I've talked about it for 5 years, but if they don't sit down together and they don't, and both guys don't want the fight, then I want to kind of put a pressure on them publicly to say, let's meet next week in a room and not leave until this fight is done, because you're seeing a lot of big fights happening at the moment. This is a monster fight that I will be gutted with if it doesn't come off, and I think the British public will be as well, and I think it's the biggest fight out there for both. So, and I think it's a brilliant fight.
Great fight.
Brilliant fight. I mean, we talked, obviously, is Kell Brook too strong? Can he still be as strong at 147? What does Amir Khan have left? What does Kell Brook have left?
Of course, yeah.
Can Kell handle the speed? Can Amir handle the power and the timing? There's so many questions of such a great fight, and like I said, I think it could be a stage of on Saturday just going, guys, like enough's enough. Just get a room, will you? Kind of thing, and let's do it.
Right, okay, Eddie. Between me and you, we're mates. We both started at the bottom.
Yeah.
You've had a bit of a, you've had a kind of, you've had a
little leg up.
You've had a good leg up, yeah. But between you and me and the people watching, Kell Brook 147.
Yeah.
How? Because he's saying he's going to do that for the Khan fight. Honestly,
so
how do you honestly feel when you heard that?
I feel as though he's better at 154. That's what I feel. After the Errol Spence fight, he didn't really want to move to 154, but as I said, I think you have to, and I think you have to try it against Rabchenko. Looked great against Rabchenko. Made 154 really easy, like probably a little bit too easy for him. Because don't forget, some fighters make weight, say, comfortably, and other fighters make weight, with a lot more stress. Kell Brook at 147, he needs 16 weeks to make 147.
Yeah.
So he started training now to make 147. When he boxed Errol Spence, I think he had a 12-week camp. He made it, and he made it good for him.
Yeah.
But you saw after 7 or 8 rounds, they seem to think, and I'm not a scientist, they deal with the scientists and these nutritionists who say, you can make 147, but you need to start now, and you can't cut one corner.
I've got you.
And in the past, there has been corners cut.
Yeah.
I prefer him. I think Kell Brook's absolute ideal weight is 150.
154, I agree with you.
No, 150.
Oh, 150,
or 151. Okay. The problem is, he's not a big light middleweight. And when you meet up against guys like Jarrett Hearn and people like that, they are massive at the weight. He was a big welterweight, but he's not a big light middleweight. It's a bit like Sam Egginton.
Yeah.
He got to 147. Sam Egginton's ideal weight is probably 150, 151, same as Kell. So, I don't know.
He feels good at 154, Egerton, though, doesn't he? He's told me.
Yeah, he does. But again, he makes it real easy, 154.
Of course,
But you can't fight at 150 or 151 unless there's a catchweight agreement.
Right.
So,
sorry, carry on.
No, I just think that I prefer Kell at 154, but if it means him getting a Khan fight and he's comfortable to make 147, he's certainly not like shot at 147. It's just tight. And that's why he started now a camp for a December fight, because he could fight Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Kell's going to want a lot less money than Amir wants to fight Pacquiao. So if the numbers add up for Brook rather than Khan, maybe that's a fight. Yeah. So that might be another reason for both guys to say, fight each other, because otherwise one might jump into the Manny fight.
So picture the scene, like a shaved orangutan in the jungle. I'm lying there, in bed, got my pants on.
Nice.
Yeah, gorgeous, nice image for everybody. Look on my phone and I see WBA have ordered Usyk to fight Lebedev. And I thought, what the F is going on? I know someone who's going to know. Yeah. What's going on, Eddie?
Well, I'll probably have the same kind of response as you yesterday. Look, we're dealing with the politics of sport, and the reality is that the Usyk Bellew fight only takes place if every belt is on the line, and Tony's made that clear. So, is the Lebedev situation solvable? Yes, I think it is. And now we have to try and go through that process, because where we're at the moment is probably close to an agreement being in place for Usyk v Bellew on the condition that every belt is on the line. So I spoke to the WBA last night. We're looking into it. I've been speaking to Team Usyk Usyk's got options. And Usyk's options right now are Tony Bellew, which is the fight he wants. Yep. Lebedev, which is not particularly the fight he wants, or a move to heavyweight. Yeah. So, whether it's Tony Bellew, whether it's a move to heavyweight, I think right now Usyk is either going to fight Bellew or move to heavyweight. Yeah. I think that's the general, and we want it to be Bellew. So, but I think it's solvable. Is the good news, and I saw everyone. I was brilliant last night. Hearn's put the WBA up to this so that he doesn't have to take the Usyk-Bellew fight. It's like, mate, how do you think I don't want the Usyk-Bellew fight? It's probably fight of the year. It's the best fight that can be made in the cruiserweight division. It's massive money for Tony Bellew. It's legacy defining. It's historic. It's the undisputed fight. Do you think I sit there like just hoping that these massive fights don't happen? I want to make them big fights. So, in answer to your question, I hope and I think it's solvable, and we'll be working to try and make sure that that fight gets over the line and every belt is on the line.
They're going to call me a fat casual. Yeah. They call me a fat casual anyway.
I like
the Usyk fight. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying Bellew's going to win it.
But you can't be a casual. Like, do
you know what I'm saying? People
one of the problems with the Usyk fight is we need to spread that gospel to the casual. Yeah. Because in boxing, Usyk-Bellew is a fucking beautiful thing.
So.
It's a beautiful thing.
I think so, yeah.
To the casuals, like, and I always use the example, my mates, because they go to the pay-per-view fights, but they don't really go to Newcastle to watch Ritson, or they watch boxing. So they says, "Who is this Usyk guy? Yeah, I think I've heard about him. You've heard about him.
It's just a bit good.
Pound for pound, probably number one in the sport. So we need to make sure that this is not just a 400,000 or 500,000 buy pay-per-view. This could be 1 million buy pay-per-view, because Tony Bellew deserves it. And if he gets this fight, it'll be the last fight of his career. I will tell you one thing: for Bellew, it's Usyk or retire. That's like we talk about. Usyk is Bellew or move to heavyweight. Yeah. Bellew is Usyk or retire. That's it. So the pressure's kind of on me to make sure that he would be comfortable retiring, but he wants this fight back.
It's fascinating.
It's in his head. No, but it's in his head now. This fight. He started training for this fight because we're looking at November and it's 9 weeks away. He's got to lose a bit of weight as well. So it's in his head. And he wants it. And the moment that Usyk called him out, he just decided, I want this fight.
It's fascinating though, because...
Were you about to say you think Bellew can win?
No, what I was going to say was, where does that put Bellew's legacy? If he beats Usyk, that's instant...
That's one of the most beautiful things about the fight, because people will continue to knock Bellew. He won the WBC. You have to understand, Makabu, who's had some strong knockout wins since, was regarded in the cruiserweight division as a beast. Yeah. Right? Bellew was the underdog going into that fight. Bellew knocked him out, and everyone said, who was Makabu anyway? Yeah. He was overrated. He wasn't at the time. He was a killer at the time, as you saw from the end of the first round. Then he went and fought David Hay. David Hay shot to Pete. He's absolutely finished. Now he's going. What are you going to say when he beats Usyk?
If people knew Makabu, you knew he was decent.
He's a quality operator. But also, in answer to your question, how do you rate Usyk on the pound for pound list? You have to put him top 3, really, in my opinion.
Easily, in my opinion. Yeah.
So if Bellew beats him, how sick are people going to be when Bellew becomes a pound for pound great?
Can I ask you one final question? Yeah. I'm going to do a big sight. Joshua Wilder, Finkel. What's the latest of all that? It's worn me down to the ground.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of like just a bit. I'm like a bit miffed with it all, really. I mean, I sent an email. Actually, my old man sent an email to Shelley 3 days ago, and said, "We've sent you a signed contract on all the terms you agreed. Appreciate you doing the Fury fight at the moment. Can we talk about the April fight? Like, if there's something that now you don't agree on, can you let us know, and maybe we can try and get some progress?" And they haven't responded. It's frustrating when people are saying, he doesn't want to fight Joshua, and we can't even get a response from their team. So they've done some good business. They're fighting an easier fight for good money to raise their profile, which is all brilliant as long as it leads to the Joshua fight. So all we're saying to them is, talk to us. We will make the fight now. And if you want to go back on your word, that's no problem. People have done that before. I've probably done that before. But let us know what needs to be changed to secure the April fight. Because what will happen is, and everyone thinks, Hearn's just got a plan to fight Dillian White anyway. Not at all. Wilder is absolutely priority. But if he's not, White gets the fight. But we have to deal with the mandatories, the politics. So probably after the Povetkin fight, we probably have 1 or 2 weeks. And by the way, this is a fucking tough fight against Povetkin. Mate, and again, you talk to the casuals. The casuals go, Povetkin, who's he? You speak to people in boxing. Every one of them says this is a real fight. And this is a real fight. Povetkin's number 3 in the Ring magazine. So if you think that I'm on board with the WBA or I'm on board with the... Let's look at the independent rankings. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Alexander Povetkin. We're not fighting 2, we're fighting number 3. So 1 against 3. In my opinion, this shows who the best heavyweight in the world is. Because Anthony Joshua is already the best heavyweight in the world. Fury against Wilder tells us who the second best heavyweight is.
How does that fight go, Fury-Wilder?
I'd say it's an easy win for Wilder because Fury's a talent, but if the bookies price that fight even money, you better take that to the bank.
Yeah.
Because Fury is nowhere near ready for that fight. So it's a perfect fight for Wilder. I can't believe they've hooked Fury on. You know, I mean, they're talking about, I think it's going to happen in December now. I don't know whether the fight actually happens.
I've got to do it. Eddie Hearn said it wasn't going to happen. It's going to happen.
But when it happens is when the bell rings, yeah? It's not when someone announces the fight.
I got it, yeah.
So I have my doubts. I really have my doubts. But it was going to be November 17 or 10. Now it's, I think, December 1 or 8 or something like that. We'll see if it gets postponed again. But I can't believe they've got Fury on the hook. It's perfect for Wilder and perfect for us. Because I'm hoping that the fight between Joshua and Wilder gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But if we don't at least talk about it, how could you say they want a fight so badly? They refuse meetings with us. They refuse to send a contract. Now they're refusing to even answer emails. So that's the truth of the situation. But we've both got business to take care of. They've got a potential fight with Fury. We've got our fight with Povetkin. But there needs to be talk. Because otherwise, 3 or 4 weeks after the Povetkin fight, we'll get a mandatory. And then everyone will say, oh, you've taken a mandatory to swerve Wilder again.
I'm honestly confused. You're a nice guy, Eddie. I think you're all right. I think he's all right. But sometimes I listen to American podcasts and I'm like, they've got a point. Then I listen to you and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't make... Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm somebody who's into the sport.
I don't think we're faultless in everything that's happened. They're certainly not either. But if you want a fight, you will at least have a meeting.
Yeah.
Or send a contract or talk about it. And that's the frustrating thing for me. People, I read social media, Hearn, you don't want the fight, you're swerving this fight. It's like, mate, they're not even replying to us. How can we make a fight if they won't even reply? I don't know whether this was the aim all along to fight Fury. If it was, I'll take my hat off to Wilder and Finkel, fucking genius. Yeah. And build his profile. He'll get a better deal out of us for the April fight if he beats Fury.
Because the profile's raised.
Of course.
Right.
But at what point do you turn around and say, if these people won't talk to us, won't have a meeting, won't send us a contract when we ask them to, how on earth do you make a deal?
Eddie, I'm going to let you get on with it. Thank you for giving me your time. Thanks for speaking to Wingy Boxing, IFL TV. And I'll catch up with you soon, brother.
Cheers, Wingy.
Thank you.